Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Vipul and today we have with us the BMW iX1, the electric version of the X1. And this is BMW's entry level electric car at the moment. We got the opportunity to spend about 10-12 days with this car and I've driven it extensively, and in this video I'll be able to tell you what this car is really like to drive, what it's like to live with it, and everything you might want to know about the iX1. So stay tuned till the end of the video and subscribe to Motoroids if you haven't already, and press the bell icon so that you get notified whenever we upload such videos. So let's get started. Now, firstly, let's talk about the design. Now, BMW wants all of its cars that have been derived from ICE engines like the petrol and the diesel to look the same. There are very minimal bits that set it apart from the ICE variant. So it looks more or less like the petrol or the diesel X1, but if you look at this grille closely, it's completely closed off and there are no air intakes right here. Also, right here you get the radar sensor for the ADAS, and you'll have to look closely at the logo. The logo has this blue accent surrounding it. On the ICE variant, you get a chrome surround for the logo. That's the only difference at the front. Other than that, it is just like the X1. Let's move on to the side. Now, if you're looking at the car from the side, it's going to be really difficult to identify if this is the X1 or the iX1. It's completely the same silhouette except for the wheels right here. The wheels have the BMW logo and they get the blue surround around it. Also, these are M wheels, so you have the M badging on them as well. Similarly, let's move to the rear and see what's different there. At the rear, you get a similar design. The only thing that sets it apart from the X1 is this I logo right here and the BMW logo surrounded in blue. Also, there are no exhaust tips here. So that's the overall design. Now, you get 490 liters of boot space right here, electrically operated tailgate, of course, and there is no spare wheel here because BMW had to put in the battery and the motor, so the spare wheel is missing. However, you do get a puncture repair kit, so if you're stranded on the road and you need a quick fix for your tires, you can do that. However, if there was a spare wheel, it would have been appreciated because it's always good to carry a spare wheel with you. So those were all the changes or differences with the X1. Besides that, the car remains the same. The similar story continues inside as well. Now, before we get inside, let's take a look at the key. So this is the new key that you get with BMW cars these days. So this is the lock button. You have the unlock and the tailgate release button as well. You don't really need to use it a lot. Just have it in your pocket and you should be fine. You have these old style door knobs, which is similar in the X1 as well. And if you open the door, you will see that the cabin is entirely like the X1. So from inside, you will not be able to tell if this is the X1 or the iX1. Only the logo will tell you that this is the iX1 and not the petrol or the diesel X1. The same story continues at the rear as well. You get the same comfortable seats. The choice of materials inside, they are top notch, and you will always feel that you are traveling in a very expensive and premium car. Now, let's get driving and tell you what this drives like. Now, before we get started and get driving, take a look at this massive sunroof. It is a panoramic sunroof and it opens right till here. And this has to be one of the widest opening sunroofs that I have seen in this segment. Let us know your thoughts on it. Now we are driving the all-new BMW iX1, and this has to be the most powerful X1 in the X1 lineup because it produces 313 HP of power and 494 Newton meters of torque, and that is a lot of power for a car in this segment. Also, It is all-wheel drive, so it has a two-motor configuration which gives power to all the four wheels. So when you're in the corners, a little more torque is sent to the rear wheel so that whenever you're getting out of a corner quickly, you get maximum traction and you can get out of the corner very, very fast. Now, the claimed range of the iX1 is 420, 430 odd kilometers. That's a claimed range. And I've been driving this car extensively for a long time. I've driven it about 800, 850 kilometers. And I'm getting an efficiency of 18.3 kilowatts per 100 kilometers, which means this car runs about 5.5 kilometers for every kilowatt of energy used. And this has a 66.4 kilowatt hour battery, which means that in real world you will be able to get around 350 to 360 kilometers of range easily. And I've been driving this like a normal car, like I would drive a petrol or a diesel car. Now, there are some very interesting things that I found out about this car, and one of them is that when you're driving in the regular mode, so this is like a personal mode which is active, it's a default, it starts up whenever the car starts up, and whenever I let go of the accelerator, the car does not start braking. It is getting some regen. If you look here, the power consumption, it shows as -5. That means it is regenerating power while it's coasting. Now, because it's not braking all of a sudden, it's not heavy on the braking, the car reduces the speed very gradually. While it is sending power back to the battery, it is also covering a longer distance because of the way this car coasts. And that helps you get a better range, which is why if you look at the difference, so 360 is what I'm getting with this car by driving it in city, by driving it in traffic conditions, by driving it on the highway at regular car speeds, and it still delivers a very good efficiency. The claim range is about 420 and I'm getting 360, so the difference is hardly 60 kilometers. So it is very close to its claim range if you are driving in the normal mode. Now, it has other modes also. It has the efficient mode wherein it will give you much more power, and you also have maximum regen. So what happens right here is your speed is limited to 90 kmph, and also it will cut down the AC. The AC will be switched off, and in this mode you can get the maximum range out of the battery. So not the most ideal conditions, but you can drive it in efficiency mode. You have to press the My Modes button and then you can go to efficient mode. Now, this is a mode that you want to be using in if you're driving the car in traffic. You don't need a lot of power, you don't need to overtake a lot. That's when you use this mode. But even in the efficiency mode, if I want to make an overtake, let me see if the road is clear, and we are at about 50 kilometers per hour now. And if I want to overtake, I'll just, and it just surges and darts ahead. So you still have a lot of power in the efficient mode as well. You're not restricted in the power delivery, which is very, very nice. And it, even in the efficient mode, it gives you the feel of driving a normal regular car. Now, another interesting mode that this car has is the relax mode. You go to My Modes again and you put it in relax, and this is where the sunroof shuts itself and the seats for the front driver and the passenger will start giving you a massage. Yes, this comes with a massage feature, so you get that right in an X1, which is really nice. Now, if you want to have a lot of fun, throw the car into corners, you can always go into sport mode, and that's where you will get the maximum performance. Obviously, range will take a hit, so would not recommend doing it if you are on a long drive. The only annoying bit here is that every time you have to press the My Mode button and then select your mode. Previously, you used to get a dedicated button for the eco mode or the sport mode, which was really nice. So just one button and you could go into the mode. But now it is a two-step process. Now, how does this car feel to drive? Now, this is a BMW, so obviously it is fun to drive and it is much more powerful than the X1. So this is what you can do with this car. I mean, quickly you can build on power and speed. So yes, it is a fun to drive car, and because it also gets rear wheel drive, it has all wheel drive, the rear wheels are getting power, it's that much more fun to drive the car. In terms of suspension, it is decently set up. However, if you're getting out of the corners very fast, there is some amount of body roll that could be unsettling at some times. It's not exactly the car's fault. It's a lot of power for this chassis, and I suppose this chassis was not built for that much amount of power to take into corners and actually push the car as much. So it does unsettle the car a little bit, but you still can have a lot of fun. But if you're driving it for just some fun in the ghats, it's going to be absolutely fine. You won't have any complaints. Now, if you look at the steering wheel of the iX1, it is similar to the X1. It has the M logo. This is an M wheel. It has the same bits like the X1, but it's missing one paddle shifter right here. You get only this one on the left. And if you see here, it says boost. So it gives you a 10-second boost whenever you want to do a hard acceleration. You want that extra power to make an overtake, or the extra power just to have some fun. You can turn this on and you can give it a boost for 10 seconds. Now, the 0 to 100 claimed speed of this car is 6.5 seconds. That's the 0 to 100 time. We're going to test it out. So let's put it in sports mode first. Okay, and then we'll turn off the aircon controls, AC off. So I'm just going to hit boost and we're clear. And you just dart forward and we have already crossed 100. So that's how quick it is. It's going to put a smile on your face, and the performance is simply impressive. And if you are looking for a performance car, you just should definitely try it out, test it out, and see for yourself how this car brings a smile to your face. Now let's talk about charging times. Now the car ships with a 11 kilowatt charger, which takes about 6.5 hours to charge fully. And with the 130 kilowatt charger, you can do 20 to 80% of charge in about 30 odd minutes. Now, these chargers are not available around where I live, but I did find 60 kilowatt hour chargers, and they can top up like with a 50%, like that's a 30 kilowatt charge in about 40 minutes, which is decent because if you are on the road and you are traveling on a long road trip, you will halt for a chai break or a refreshment break or a restroom break. You would have spent about 30-40 odd minutes, and you'll get a 50% battery top up immediately in almost 30 to 40 minutes, which is really nice. Only thing is that you should have 60 kilowatt hour chargers nearby. Now, this is a very quiet car and it's very easy to drive. So anyone in your family will be able to drive this car easily. There is very limited road noise. There is some road noise because there is no engine grunt, so you hear the road, but the insulation overall is nice. The ride quality is also good. It runs on 20-inch wheels. It has enough rubber, 55 section tires. So it is comfortable. Only if you drive a little fast on very bad roads, that's when it's going to get a little bumpy and you'll be tossed around. Otherwise, it is a very stable drive. You're going to be comfortable all along, even in the city or on the highway. I was really impressed on how this car does its modes, and it coasts a lot. And while it still generates power, the coasting gives you the maximum amount of range because your distance travel increases when the car is coasting. So that's where I think this car really shines. Now, like I said, the interiors are also premium. Good quality materials are used all around the car. It's the same interior as the X1. You have a wireless charger right here, 2 cup holders, and all your controls are very accessible. You get these 2 big digital screens, and you get all the required information on the screen right here. The range available, the percentage charge, everything is available. The legibility is good. You don't have to search for things. The text is nice and legible. And right here you have these controls which are oriented towards the driver, and everything is accessible. You can customize all of this. So typical BMW. I like how these AC vents have been integrated into this part of the dashboard, it looks really nice, clean design. Just like the X1, you also get ambient lighting, which looks really nice when you're driving in the night. And overall, the seats are comfortable. They get massage features. They are adjustable electrically, and they are very comfortable as well. However, for my width, they are a little narrow. If they were a little tad bit wider, it would have been much better. But the under thigh support is good. You have extended under thigh support, which is really nice. And yeah, overall, this is a very good car to be in and to drive as well. So that was how the iX1 is to drive. Now let's talk about competition. Now this one is priced at 66.9 lakhs ex showroom, so it is in competition with the Mercedes EQA, the Volvo XC40 Recharge, and also the Kia EV6, which is surprising because it is priced at around 60 lakhs. And yes, that also can compete with the iX1. However, this one gets a superior motor, more power and more torque, of course, and it has the BMW nameplate going for it. However, like I mentioned, the power that this car produces is a little too much for its chassis to handle, especially if you're going into the corners. But if you want a powerful X1, this should be your go-to choice. Also, to put things in perspective, the iX1 is almost 15 lakhs more than the diesel X1. So by buying this, you're going to get more power, more torque, some more features, and also you're going to get a lot of savings in fuel costs. But would that be worth 15 lakhs? We leave that to you to decide. Let us know what you think of this car. Would you choose this over its competitors, or would you be someone willing to spend about 70 lakhs on road on this car? Let us know in the comments. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments below. Subscribe to Motoroids if you haven't already. Press that bell icon so that you get notified whenever we upload our next video. This is Vipul signing off. I will see you in the next one. Until then, rev hard, rev free, and drive safe.